All right. So I have them all tightened now. I went from no spokes to doing half turns on the whole thing around, and that cinched everything up. There's no spokes are really loose. But when you get to this point where it starts to get tight, as before we barely had any real movement in the rim. Once you get to this point, this is where you start to see a visible wobble, because you're putting torque on the spokes, which put more torque on the rim, and it starts to manipulate it. But that's not a big deal. This isn't that bad. We'll get this out, no problem. But if you had just started doing this from the get-go, your rim could be a lot crazier. This isn't too bad. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop this out. It's pretty easy to do on these stands here if you haven't ever used them before. This one has a little Allen key setup. Not too bad to do. I like to just loosen one side. Once you get it loose, just pull the whole thing out. Just like that. For me, that's how I do it. I'm going to pop off my one little machine comb. No big deal. Take my rim off here and just set it down for now. And now we're going to go on to the drift. All right. So this isn't a big deal to do. Couple of things with the drift. Some people actually like real drifts. There's something I started doing at one point, and that was I actually went to just brass tubing, mainly because I've had drifts shatter on me or they start splaying out, and I just didn't like to do it. So go with the brass tubing. You can just unscrew and put a new one on there, and I just like the way it works. You can use whatever. You can use a brass or an aluminum drift. Don't use any steel. It's going to mar and dent. You have to use like composite metals or something softer. The brass and aluminum, or steel, well, you don't want to mar up your hub or anything like that. All right, so I'm really not going to be able to videotape this because I'm doing it one-handed, but I'm just going to set it up on one side. I'm just going to give it a decent little whack, nothing too forceful. I'm going to do one set all the way around, boom, 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 do the insides all the way around, then I'll do the outsides. So inside, as you can see, it's lower than the outside right there. Inside, outside, top, bottom, however you want to say it. It's not a big deal. All right, so I'm going to do all those around, and then flip it over and do the other side. And then I'm going to start my trimming process. All right.